think I'm not alone in this room. And when I look back, there was nothing. There's not a word to describe that feeling.
There is a beautiful city located in southern Ontario that has magical feelings due to its rich history and heritage. It is not only a place that has witnessed a significant part of our country's history, but it is also a place that holds many secrets and stories. Welcome to Canada's most haunted city, Kingston, Ontario. Many historic limestone homes stand in the area, along with narrow alleyways and dark streets, making it mysterious to explore. Kingston has a lot of ghost stories to tell. We begin our story in the heart of downtown, at the former Prince George Hotel.
Prince George Hotel has been around since like the 1800s in Kingston. The story goes, a girl named Lily, who was having an affair with a sailor. He used to come to Kingston, and her parents didn't approve. So when her parents weren't home, she'd always have a lantern in the windows. And when the lantern was lit, he knew that he could go and visit. One day, she fell asleep while waiting for him, and top floor where Prince George had burned, and she died in the fire. So from what people say is you can hear footsteps or somebody walking around pacing on the top floor.
Theresa Ignis beam is another famous story. According to the locals, the most haunted place in Kingston is the narrow Rushlow Court passageway. The story goes that Theresa was having an affair with a local politician. When the politician found out that Theresa was pregnant, he killed her and buried her body nearby. There have been unexplained knocks on the doors and windows of a few businesses since her death. One day, a landlord took out a Ouija board to communicate with Theresa. She told him where her bones were buried and supposedly what happened to her. They searched for the bones but never found them. So, Theresa remains in the area trying to find her bones. Witnesses describe her as wearing a black dress and a black veil on her head. Almost every building downtown Kingston dates back to the mid-1800s. Every new construction project in the city is subject to an archaeological investigation. Several apartments and buildings have been built above former cemeteries in the past. McBurney Park is the most famous, commonly known as Skeleton Park. In the early 19th century, about 10,000 immigrants from Northern Ireland and Scotland were buried on the site.
I remember when we were a kid, we'd go and we'd play down in what they called Skeleton Park. The story goes that way back during an epidemic, and people were buried there at Skeleton Park. The stories go that somebody who lived there and some Queen's University students from back in the day walking by had seen actual groups of people. They walking around saying, hey, I think they've seen some people are there or whatnot, but realizing that it wasn't actually people, weren't sure what it was. It was kind of like those images. People saying that they've seen people around that area.
Kingston Penitentiary is another haunted location. Canada's first maximum security penitentiary was built in 1833 and closed in 2013. It was a prison for men, women, and even children. Riots were very common in this penitentiary. In Ibla, some of the prisoners were considered outcasts by the other inmates. Because of their crimes, they were tied up in chairs and tortured. Some of the prisoners died while being tortured. Murders of both prisoners and guards were common occurrence. Many guards have been killed with smuggled weapons or stabbed to death with makeshift knives during escape attempts. However, there have been reports that all the prisoners have left. Some say the spirits of the murdered prisoners still haunt E-Block or even their own cells. It is often believed that limestone holds ethereal properties and can keep information and energy from those that live nearby. Kingston is known for its haunted buildings, and every building seems to have its own story to tell. It could be imagination, spiritualism, superstition, chemistry, or something else. No matter what the cause is, Kingston is certainly Canada's most haunted city.